Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're really digging into something significant happening in the Asia-Pacific business travel world, specifically accommodation.
Hmm.
We've got sources on a major new service department launch, and we want to unpack what it tells us about, the standard for extended stay these days.
Right, because this isn't just another hotel opening. This source gives us a really concrete look at that home away from home idea in practice,
Exactly.
which is so crucial for, modern business folks who need more than just a room for a couple of nights. They're settling in for weeks, maybe months.
Absolutely. It's about how professionals, entrepreneurs, even whole teams expect to live and work when they're abroad now. Okay, let's unpack this, starting with the actual property.
Let's do it.
So we're talking about the Ascott, Macau. It's set to open its doors next Monday, actually.
And what's immediately striking is that this is Ascot's first property in Macau.
Yeah, that's big.
Ascott, they're based in Singapore. Huge hospitality player. In fact, they're the world's largest international service residence owner-operator.
Wow, okay.
So when a giant like that makes its first move into a place like Macau, it's not just testing the waters. It signals real confidence in that market.
And the location kind of screams business, doesn't it? It's right smack in the middle of Macau's business district.
Precisely. They're not really aiming for the weekend tourist crowd here.
No.
This is clearly targeted at corporate teams, professionals who need to be right there, downtown, often for extended periods.
Okay, so what's the setup like? It's not a massive hotel complex, right?
And no, it's structured as 110 service department units,
Right.
designed for both short and, crucially, long-term stays.
110 units. That feels, I don't know, more focused. Like they're going for quality over sheer volume.
That's likely the idea. It
Yeah.
fits the service apartment model, more personalized, maybe higher service levels than you'd get in a 500-room hotel.
On the units themselves, what are we looking at size-wise?
They vary. The apartments range from 30 square meters up to 75 square meters.
Okay, 30 to 75. That range is interesting.
It is. The 75 square meter ones, you can clearly see those appealing to senior execs, maybe small project teams needing space to collaborate a bit.
Right, like a proper suite, almost.
Yeah. But the 30 square meter units, that does make you think, doesn't it?
How so?
Well, if the promise is this sort of luxury, truly comfortable home experience for a long stay, is 30 square meters really enough for that high-end corporate user?
Good point. It feels a bit tight, potentially. Maybe more efficient than luxurious at that size.
It could be pushing the boundary of what feels like a true residential experience versus, say, a well-equipped but compact hotel room.
Or maybe it's about segmenting, catering to different corporate travel policies.
That's very possible.
Mhm.
Perhaps for more junior staff or roles where the per diem is tighter, but they still want those core service department benefits.
So balancing that luxury image with, the practicalities of corporate budgets and maximizing how many people they can accommodate.
Exactly. From a financial angle, smaller units help maximize the yield in what's likely expensive real estate.
Makes sense.
While the larger ones justify the premium rates, it's probably a calculated approach to capture a wider slice of that corporate market.
Okay, so let's move inside the units because this is where it gets really interesting, right? What actually makes these places work for someone staying, say, 6 weeks?
It's the functional stuff,
Yeah.
the things that make it feel less like a hotel and more like, well, an apartment.
Like the kitchen setup.
Absolutely non-negotiable for a genuine extended stay.
Right.
And we're not just talking a kettle and mini fridge.
Yeah.
The source lists a fully equipped kitchen setup. Coffee machine, electric kettle, microwave oven, and a proper refrigerator.
Okay, that's key. Being able to make your own coffee, maybe a simple meal.
It completely changes the dynamic of a long trip. You're not forced to eat out or rely on room service for everything.
Which, over several weeks, gets expensive for the company.
And honestly, just tiring for the traveler. Having that control over your food and schedule defines that comfortable and convenient living experience they mention.
Yeah, I can see that. And for the company sending people, that control over meal costs must be a big plus.
Huge. And it touches on compliance, too. A lot of big companies are a bit wary of, say, random short-term rentals from online platforms.
Because of regulations or security?
Both. Varying local rules, maybe inconsistent service, security concerns. The service department model, especially from a global brand like Ascott, offers that residential flexibility but with standardized service safety protocols.
And clear regulatory compliance, which is gold for corporate risk management teams.
Exactly.
Okay, so the in-room stuff is solid. What about outside the apartment door, the shared facilities?
This is where they really build that community feel, moving beyond just providing a place to sleep. It's about creating a place to live.
Right. So what do they offer?
Well, the standards are there. A well-equipped gym, you expect that.
Sure.
But then they add layers of, well, comfort and relaxation. Indoor heated and outdoor swimming pools,
Nice. 2 pools.
plus a jacuzzi and a sauna room. This isn't just ticking boxes. It feels designed for unwinding after what are probably pretty high-pressure workdays for these guests.
Decompression facilities, basically.
Yeah. And importantly, there's a dedicated residence lounge.
Ah, okay. Why is that so key?
It's that third space, isn't
Right.
it? Not your apartment, not the office or client site. It's a place for informal relaxing, maybe mingling with other residents if you want.
Yeah, if you're on a long assignment, feeling isolated can be a real problem. Having a space like that could make a big difference in morale, maybe even retention for those long projects.
Definitely a factor. And then there's the food situation beyond the in-room kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
3 on-site restaurants, and they offer Japanese, Chinese, and Western cuisines.
Wow, okay. That's quite comprehensive.
It's not just about convenience, though it is convenient. Think about it strategically.
How so?
Offering that variety signals they're expecting and catering to a diverse international clientele.
Right. So if a company sends a team from, say, the US, Japan, and maybe somewhere in Europe.
Everyone feels catered to. It makes the whole place feel more welcoming and globally minded, reinforcing that comfort factor.
That's a smart touch. Anything else on the support side?
Yeah, they mentioned a scheduled shuttle bus service to the Macau ferry terminal.
Connectivity. Important.
Crucial, especially if local transport is tricky for newcomers. It just smooths out one of those daily hassles.
Reduces friction.
Exactly. And they also talk about curated resident programs.
What does that mean usually? Social events, local tours?
Probably a mix of things. Could be
Yeah.
networking events, cultural experiences, wellness activities. It's that extra layer that turns it from just renting a space into being part of a managed living environment.
The personal touch. Helps people settle in, feel less like a temporary visitor.
Right. It encourages longer stays, maybe makes people more willing to renew contracts.
Okay, so the property itself sets a pretty high bar. Let's zoom out now. Ascott as a global player.
Yeah, this is where you see the strategic weight. We mentioned they're the largest international operator.
How big are we talking?
The source says they manage over 26,000 serviced residential units globally.
26,000. That's huge.
It's massive. And that scale isn't just a number. It means standardization, brand recognition, operational muscle.
Where are all these units?
Their portfolio spans major cities across Europe, Asia, Australia, India, and the Gulf region. So this Macau opening, it's not some isolated venture. It slops right into this enormous existing network.
Okay, but managing 26,000 units across so many different countries and cultures, how do they keep the quality consistent? How do you make sure the Ascott experience feels the same in Macau as it does in, I don't know, Paris or Dubai?
That's the core challenge and likely their key strength. It comes down to centralized management systems, probably very sophisticated tech platforms, standardized design briefs, global procurement, rigorous training programs.
So a lot of infrastructure behind the scenes.
A huge amount. It allows them to impose those consistent standards across really diverse markets. That consistency is what corporates are buying into when they choose a global brand like Ascott. It's reliable.
So this Macau launch is just one step. What's next? The sources mention a specific focus, right?
Yes, very clearly.
Oh.
They have an aggressive plan focused squarely on China.
Oh, interesting.
The plan is to launch 7 new properties across China within the next 18 to 24 months.
7 properties in 2 years in China. Why the big push there specifically?
Seems to be a few key drivers. First, China's own domestic corporate travel market is booming.
Not just international companies coming in, but Chinese companies moving their own people around.
Exactly. As Chinese firms grow and globalize, their need for high-quality, reliable, long-term accommodation within China for their own traveling staff is massive. That's a huge shift.
Okay, that makes sense. What else?
Second, the regulatory side. In many major Chinese cities, there's increasing scrutiny on short-term rentals, especially maybe less formal ones.
Right, the Airbnb-style platforms.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
Ascott's model, properly licensed, professionally managed, often part of larger commercial developments, offers clear compliance. For big companies, that certainty is incredibly valuable.
It's the safer, more reliable option.
Definitely. And third, it's about expectations. Companies know that good housing impacts employee productivity, happiness, retention.
Sure.
By setting this high standard in Macau, The nice kitchens, the pools, the lounges, the global food Ascot is basically defining what premium long-term corporate housing looks like. They're positioning themselves at the top end.
And using Macau as the template for those next 7 launches in China.
That seems to be the strategy. Lock up that premium segment before the competition fully catches up.
Okay, so pulling this all together, what does this mean for you, the listener, who's maybe involved in or observing this business travel space?
I think the big takeaway is that the benchmark for decent long-term business accommodation, at least in Asia, has fundamentally shifted upwards.
It's not just a hotel room with a microwave anymore.
Not if you want to attract and retain top talent, no. The expectation now is this blend of, real residential functionality. The kitchen is key, plus extensive wellness amenities and those global support systems like reliable service and dining options.
That's the new standard Ascot is pushing.
It seems so. This deep dive really showed how one property launch isn't just about that one building. It reflects this huge global shift in demand. Companies want comprehensive, personalized places for their people.
It's moved beyond just temporary shelter to needing a functional, supportive second home.
Yeah.
One that actually helps people be productive and, feel okay during a long assignment.
Right. Which leads to a pretty interesting question for the future, doesn't it?
Go on.
Well, given Ascot's plan, 7 more high-end properties like this rolling out across China in just the next couple of years,
Yeah.
how quickly does this standard stop being the premium option and just become the expected standard? You have to wonder, will this level of luxury service department, the full package, become the baseline expectation across the whole Asia-Pacific business scene? And what does that mean for operators who can't or won't meet that standard?
Will they be squeezed out? That's
Yep.
definitely something to watch.
Absolutely. The competition just got a lot tougher.